Good afternoon. My name is Josh Wainwright with Ethics class, and today I'm going to be talking about humility. That's my chosen topic. I chose humility because I believe we are lacking that in today's society. It's something that I learned as a young coach, and I learned it the hard way, and I've really grown from it. Today we're going to be discussing what humility looks like in a coach, how humility is taught to his players or his athletes. Is it something we should expect from all? And what does humility look like during a competitive setting? I believe it starts from the top down, meaning the administration of the school and the coach set the tone and demonstrate what humility looks like. The definition from Merriam's dictionary says humility is freedom from pride or arrogance, the sense of being humble. This quote, I feel, is a great example of humility. Never look down on anyone unless you're helping them up. I just thought that was a great example of humility. A quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, a great man is always willing to be little. But what I really like is the picture underneath it when you have two distance runners, one with no hands and the other one reaching over to help them drink the water. I thought that was a great example of humility, of two people competing together and working together as one. Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. This is just a quote from the Bible, from Matthew 23:12 that I threw in there. Having humility means being humble in all that you do, and you must be willing to put others first. You and God are really the only two people that know if you're acting with humility. It's not an easy thing to do, especially during competition. It's important that we act humbled in front of God. We have to learn how to leave our worries with Him because He does care for us, and that's what's said in this quote. Humble yourselves then under God's mighty hand so that He will lift you up in His own good time. Leave all your worries with Him because He cares for you. I like the end of this quote when it says, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Being a coach, you automatically put others first. But as an athlete, this is tougher to learn and practice. That's why I liked the end of the quote there. Consider others better than yourselves. So once again, you're putting others first. That's that golden rule. I'm going to treat others the way I expect to be treated. Got humility? I feel this is a great statement portraying how a coach and leader should act. The first line is how one in a position of authority should act. To be strong but not rude. Use the golden rule again and treat others the way you expect to be treated. That's huge. As a leader and as a person of authority, it's important to be strong but not rude. You can be positive and demanding, but you don't necessarily be rude. I think the season of life, reading about Joe Ehrman and what he did was a great example of humility and acting that way towards others. Here are some qualities that should appear in coaches with humility. One, they should show good sportsmanship at all times. In victory and defeat, they should be a good sportsman or sportswoman. They can take both positive and negative feedback and grow from it. It's important as a coach to learn from your mistakes, to take criticism, to get feedback, whether it be good or bad, and to use that to your best of your ability. They realize their limitations. They put others around them to help. Once again, if I'm not a great offensive play caller, it's probably smart of me to bring somebody in that is. Knowing my limitations and surrounding myself with people that can help me with those limitations. They always put others first. I think that speaks for itself, especially as a coach. It's about everyone else before it's about you. And that's the last one. As a coach with humility, you always put your needs last. And I think that's extremely important, being someone in a position of authority. It's not about us. It's about us serving and helping others. And so if I could put their needs first and put mine last, I think I'm a winner no matter what. And I think I'm acting with humility in that regard. John Maxwell, in his book Ethics 101, hits it right on the head when he talks about the golden rule. In my opinion, that's humility in a nutshell. Treat others the way you expect to be treated. Ted Koppel's quote talks about finding the moral compass, which is also someone acting with humility. Find that moral compass to be ethically and morally correct and right. I believe that's showing humility in all that you do. And then John Ruskin said that pride is at the bottom of all great mistakes, and that pride is the opposite of humility. It's okay to have pride, but it needs to be the good kind of pride. It can't be the bad kind where we're arrogant or we're cocky. Continuing with Ethics 101, a person with humility is confident in themselves. They aren't arrogant or cocky. There's a difference between the two. They are both highly destructive to humility. Once again, it's important not to be arrogant or cocky, to have the good kind of pride. A person's pride, if done in the wrong way, will tear about and destroy a person's humility as well. It's important to remember that you can't be too proud. It's okay to have, once again, have that good sense of pride, but not to be too proud, and not to be arrogant, not to be cocky, to act with class in all that you do. I like the end of the quote here when it says even a child can teach you something new. As coaches, we learn from our players as well. We should look to learn from them. And most of us are teaching younger kids. Even if we're not, even if we're teaching college or professional, we should still learn from our athletes. I think that's important. I think that's acting with humility and being humbled is learning from other people, especially someone that is younger than you. Teaching humility to athletes. Athletes showing humility will have class and victory or defeat. They will always put the team first. They make the right moral decisions, and they are coachable. I think that's huge. Being coachable means you're being humble. You're having humility. The problem with today's sports is that many are lacking that humility during a competition. It becomes about them, or they cheat, or they break the rules. So that's why I chose humility, because we're seeing such a lack of it in today's game. Kids are in the college level right now. Kids are just transferring to any school they want because they're not getting what they want from that prior school. It's not acting with humility. It's not being humbled. If they're showing humility during competition, then they should show respect for the game and the opponent. They play by the rules. They play as a team, and they put others first. To me, that's showing humility during competition, and that's huge. That's what I think we're lacking in today's society. And the quote here from C.S. Lewis I thought was great. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. And once again, put others first. The golden rule: treat others the way you expect to be treated. On the last slide of the presentation provided some examples of what humility could look like during competition. Helping the opponent up off the ground. Getting along with the officials. That's huge. That's huge. Accepting a penalty and being okay with it because a rule was broken and you're following the rules. That's what your job is to follow the rules. To show patience and understanding to an unruly fan or parent. And admitting a mistake that occurred during a game. That's huge. To be able to admit that I did something wrong, that's acting with humility. That's showing others that I'm humble. It's important that we have humility as coaches. It's important that we teach it to our players. It's also extremely important that our teams and athletes show it in all that they do and at all times. For Joe Ehrmann to do what he did with that high school program and Biff, Coach Biff, that's just remarkable. That just showed humility all the way through. I would love to see it firsthand, but I really believe that not only did their players act with humility, they taught humility in class. Humility is not something that we are born with. We learn it. And hopefully by learning it, we can pass it on to others that we teach and inspire. And that's something that I hope to do on a daily basis, and that's something I look from other coaches to do. Be humble in all that you do. Thank you.